Hello, welcome to Cricbuzz Chatter, brought to you in association with Cricbuzz 11, the fantasy gaming app from the house of Cricbuzz. See, I got it right. Cheers to that. Cheers.
Cheers, Harsha.
A lot of you might think it's beer. It's just water. How far will two of us go? What a fantastic day's play cricket. Everyone talks about the third day being the moving day. I thought at one point the game was running away from India when those openers had put on 92. But I thought the game was running away from India. So Prasidh Krishna, Mohammed Siraj, especially Siraj, beautiful, pulled it back. But this 75 for two could well be a key phase of this game, especially because of what Yashasvi Jaiswal has done. He's batting, they might well rue the two catches they put down.
Yeah. At the start, we were blown away by
Actually,
England's bowling.
one minute. Before we start, what did we say yesterday? If India have to be batting on day three, they have to blow England out on day two. Which of us? Anyway, chal. Go. Sometimes. Now, it was a fascinating, absolutely brilliant day's cricket. We're not sure about whether day three is the best batting day. In fact, we'll talk about that later. But it's interesting, the Jaiswal style of batting versus the Rahul and Sai Sudarshan style of batting.
I just thought Jaiswal chanced his luck a bit. He came in with a very aggressive intent. They bowled a few balls which are right in his comfort zone. So he played a couple of lovely cut shots. But the fact is that being aggressive or erring on the side of aggressive is slightly better on this pitch because there is a ball with your name on it, even though it's a very cool thing to say. I feel the fact is that there's one that jagging back in or one that just leaves you away and you're thinking, oh, you almost want to tell yourself, I don't want to react to that ball. Let me just focus on the next one that's coming at me. But a lot of the time, subconsciously, you do react unnecessarily to something that's happening or something that could happen. But the fact is that Jaiswal came in with a very positive mindset, wanted to score runs, went hard, and whenever an opportunity presented itself, he didn't think twice to play a strong shot against it. So it's fair to say that his style of batting has worked so far, but he's also been lucky in two very simple, straightforward catches. So when a day like this, when you've played a few shots, you get away with it. It does sound cool and it does feel good. He was dropped on 20 and 40, and you don't get that lucky in international cricket. Two straightforward chances.
Now, it's what you do with your luck that matters as well, because it's the kind of surface where you have to take a chance. Normally, if you are a very steady, correct kind of batter, KL Rahul kind of batter, Sai Sudarshan, if there's a 5% chance of danger, you may not take it. But on this track, if it's a 80% chance of success, 20% chance of getting out, you still take it because you never know what's going to happen. I think we've seen that with all the batters who scored runs today.
That's what I was going to tell you, Asha. The fact is that KL Rahul's and Sai's style probably is not well suited in these conditions because you can't survive for too long if you're just waiting for a real bad ball to come to you. You need to sometimes put pressure back a little bit, and Ben Duckett, Zach Crawley, and Harry Brook did that. Yesterday, Karun Nair, you can't say did that, but I think it was tougher to bat today than yesterday, to be fair.
Yes.
And it was slightly quicker. It almost came to a stage where if you nicked one, you don't even need to look back. It was going straight into the hands. And batsmen who have looked to play shots have a better chance of scoring runs here.
It's not a good boy kind of pitch. It's that slightly chalu boy kind of pitch.
Yeah, you have to be
Go and go for the runs.
odd calculated risk you need to take to put pressure back.
Indeed, and that's what we saw early on. In fact, at one point when they had made 92 at 7 and over, it was a serious partnership. This with Duckett hitting those reverse sweeps and whatever. They were trying to disturb the rhythm of the Indian bowlers, and I thought they succeeded.
Yeah, I mean, he got hit on the plums, Ben Duckett, and then he decided that.
Everyone has a different expression for it. So go on.
So I think after that, he almost thought, enough. Now is my moment where I need to think of ways to put pressure back on Akashdeep to not bowl that length, because from there the odd one was coming back in when he got hurt. There's one hit the inner thigh pad, there was an LBW appeal, he cut one, he missed one, he's like, enough of it, went for the reverse scoop, and then he stepped out, did whatever possible to put so much pressure back on India that at a point you felt Shubman Gill was frazzled a bit. He was like, what sort of fields do I set here? Because every ball, they're getting an easy single, and at times they're looking for that boundary, which they're getting as well.
I got the impression at that time that India were definitely a bowler short because they had negotiated each of the three bowlers. And each of the three bowlers was going for runs. But once they came back, and I thought India bowled a lot better. And I just loved the spell that Mohammad Siraj bowled. Look at the fall shot percentage he generated. 31% fall shot percentage generated in that spell. Of those 35 runs, I reckon between 15 and 20 went to third man.
Hmm.
So it was a fantastic spell. And when he finished that spell, it needed somebody from the pavilion end where all the wickets were falling to come back and keep the pressure. And I was so happy that Prasidh Krishna stood up over there, because I've been saying God knows how long. I think Prasidh Krishna is the next red ball bowler. And after a while, I started to say, am I really right? But I thought he bowled a really good backup spell to Siraj today.
In fact, I'd go the other way around. I felt he started it off because he went fuller, he went quick as well, 90 miles around. That's the speed he was operating.
Yeah, it was his
And
quickest
he,
spell, wasn't it? It was the quickest spell of the match.
yes, and
Yeah.
he also picked up the first wicket after
Of
that
Crawley.
possession of Zach Crawley, miscuing a pull, and that was purely because of the extra pace and bounce that yeah, I'm sure that has impressed you over his career so far. He also got the odd ball to swing, but also the way he set up Joimi Overton later on in the spell. He started things off, then the lion-hearted Siraj came in and said, "Here is my moment. I am the lead bowler. Why is my record better when Bumrah is not there? This is why it is. Have a look." And he just ran through the batters of England. Some serious bowling as well. The way he picked up Joe Root. If you do jog your mind back, Joe Root has gotten out a couple of times LBW like that to Hazelwood and Pat Cummins and Ashes, and
Yeah.
very similar in that out he set him up outside the off stump and the ball coming back in. That's usual modus operandi of Siraj, where he gets a few to go away and then jacks the ball back
So
in.
glad you said that. I just love. I mean, those two wickets of Pope and Root, I think, started to set the cat among the pigeons.
Yeah.
In the camp. But that wicket of Jacob Bethel,
That was almost unplayable, Harsha, because it started from the off stump and he lined up quite nicely. But that late swing, I mean, it felt like he almost left the ball because he came straight, hit his toe. There's not much you can do if somebody bowls that kind of a ball, slightly mid box, and he just got the ball to come in and he beat him purely on swing, not pace, but definitely on swing. And to get that late swing, Harsha, you need to release the ball quite nicely. And that was a great example of why he bowled well today because I think it was coming nicely out of his hand. That we always know that Siraj is ready to bowl a long spell, but that 8 over spell that he bowled in the session where between lunch and tea was well worth it. Picked up three solid wickets, got India back in the game, and then I thought the way Indians, in terms of their attitude towards the session, also was quite exciting and interesting to watch.
I've often said that when you're working with DK, from his intonation, you can make out exactly what he wants to say. But today he's added another dimension to it. How good was it? That good.
That good.
We are both from the south, so we can understand that. Needless, as you'd imagine, it was a really exciting day's cricket. Talking of being exciting, you can play a lot of exciting games on the Cricbuzz 11 app as well. Just download it, costs a rupee, and you can go and play a lot of exciting games. Exciting was the word that came to mind when Duckett and Crawley were batting. And I thought they sussed the pitch very well. They realized it was not one of those good boys leave the ball alone kind of pitch, and they took the attack to India. And it's not easy. We've talked about it before. The long and short of it all. There's one who's very tall, there's one who's very short. I think we had in the seventh over, we showed some contact points where Crawley is batting there, right down, and Duckett played a ball off the back foot when it was actually well inside the crease. So you've got to have a left and right. You're bowling to a lefter and a right hander, and you're bowling to a tall and short, and they were just playing around with the lengths.
And also, if you see the strings, Harsha, Zach Crawley likes to hit down the ground.
Yes.
Ben Duckett likes
Square.
to play square of the wicket.
Yeah,
And
all left-handed.
And
Yeah.
most left-handers, I must say. Sai likes to play a lot more straighter. But yeah, it's fair to say that left-handers like to play square of the wicket, and Ben Duckett is a great example. But also the depth of the crease that he uses. As it is, he's a pretty short man, but he goes so far deep that even if he comes on the front foot, it's like a back foot for most players. That's how much further he plays the ball, and he's got some wonderful shots. And Zach Crawley plays a lot more orthodox shots, but Ben Duckett plays the reverse scoop and the scoop, and then he played a couple of step out and smash or slap, you can say literally. And he really put pressure back on India and Akashdeep especially because he was bowling quite nicely with the new ball.
Well.
And then I think at a point India just didn't know what to do. I remember seeing the bowling analysis at one stage. It was 4-5-4 from all three bowlers, and all were 7.75, 7.8, and 7.6. So
correct, because 4 and 5 is about 12, 13 overs. They got to 92 by then. So you live by the sword, you die by the sword. I mean, they're probably a bit lucky to get Duckett. You might argue that he was lucky that he got away with some shots, but getting
But
the
I would
reverse
ask you,
swing.
Harsha, that celebration of Akashdeep after Duckett, are you okay with it?
No, because look, I don't know what he said to him, but whatever he said to him, it looked a little cheeky.
Yeah.
And look, I actually I thought Duckett handled it quite well.
I think Duckett did handle it well. I also feel, I was thinking rather, maybe they really know each other from before or they've played so much against each other, but I don't think they have that kind of a relationship. And to do that, is
The other thing,
sometimes if the batter is not in the right mindset, it could transpire into something more.
also in India, we easily put an arm around the shoulder. If you got a friend and you're walking together, sometimes just put your arm around and walk together. Whereas in other cultures, two guys putting an arm around each other has very different meanings. So I was very, very surprised to see that. And no, I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't do it again. Though Duckett got into the fray a little later when Sai Sudarshan was
Yeah.
out, because every time a batter is walking and he comes back, that means something objectionable has been said. We actually saw something very interesting today. Everyone talks about Baz ball. I know we've talked about it before, but if he goes and gets 100 tomorrow, will you call it jazz ball?
Ah, we should. I mean, look, I think he's played quite nicely in the series.
Yeah.
Third 50, he's got 100 and as
But the
well.
learning curve is so big, man. I
I'm
think
sure.
he's done
Yeah.
very well. Yeah, he's done
He's
very
done
well.
really well. He's also had to work hard on his technique. I remember in the fourth game that when he came back to play at Edgbaston, he made some changes after that Lord's test. So this is the kind of series that actually questions your technique and you almost immerse yourself into getting better as a human being and a player. When I say human being, it's about all the downtime that you have. Are you still thinking about the game, or are you able to actually compartmentalize and say, "This is my batting. This is the things that these are the things I want to do off the field in my downtime," which you get quite a bit in between test matches. And I think all of that you would have learned quite a bit in this
It's
period.
interesting that you say that because I think the person you are influences the way you bat as well. So well done. Right, it's time to click your thing and put you because I'm trying to be kind to you. I'm putting you in hotspot.
Oh, how's that kind of?
Let's go hotspot. 92 for no loss, 92 for one, playing a certain way. Then from there, you get bowled out rather quickly. Is England largely a one dimensional batting side other than Joe Root?
I think in certain pitches where the degree of difficulty is slightly higher, they choose to take a very positive route, which is to play a lot more shots. And if you know, lose your wicket trying to do that, they're okay with it. But what we have seen is the other side of them in the first three test matches. They actually dug in, they played time, they played some long innings, they got a 500, they got a 450. So they outbatted India and Manchester in the first innings. But the fact is that if the pitch has as much as it has in this oval test, where batting normally could be a bit of a hindrance in terms of scoring runs, and they go the other way, completely aggressive way. They want to put the bowler off. And in that, if somebody like a Ben Duckett plays a reverse scoop and gets out, I don't think they mind it so much. But I wouldn't say it's a one-dimensional batting. And they used to be, I feel, because they almost use the same template every pitch, every match, every situation. But now I think they've tempered it and found a good, decent middle ground.
There's such a cruel word people have coined for it. It's called baseball with brains. It's such a cruel line. But yeah, but when the pitch gets a little spicy, by the way, if some of you haven't been to here to England, the spiciest dish here is called chicken madras. They have a chicken vindaloo or a veg vindaloo, and even spicier than that is chicken madras.
Oh, you had it recently? Or?
Me, chicken ekkada.
Chicken ka, the vegetable madras.
No chance. No chance. Since I left Hyderabad, Andhra, no spice for me. I am simple desert man.
From the land of Nizams, and you don't like spices. ఏంటి హర్ష గారు?
I'm a desert person, but I don't even get desserts today.
Why? Today every day you cannot lie saying I didn't get
I had an
dessert.
ice cream. Excellent ice cream today.
Ice cream lo ఏంటి
The
excellent?
Tom and Jerry.
Ben
ice
and
cream.
Jerry.
Ben and Jerry. Sorry, not Tom. Ben and Jerry. I keep calling. Sorry, Ben and Jerry was an absolutely.
The company will sue you. I feel for calling them Tom and Jerry.
But that is where we are. 16 wickets fell in the day. The bowlers looked excellent. We've talked about Siraj, we talked about Prasidh, Krishna. But what about day three? If the game ends on day three, then I'm a little worried about India's chances. If the game goes into day four, I'm a little worried about England's chances. But all that is on fast forward. So how do you see? How do you see day three going? Because there's some difference of opinion on day three. We did say yesterday that maybe day three is the best batting day. Will India be batting on day three? But I heard, I think it might have been with you. I heard Nasser Hussain on the telecast saying that in county matches here, day three is often the more difficult one to bat on. I work a lot with Cheteshwar Pujara here, and he's played a lot of cricket here in county cricket. He also thinks day three will be a tougher day to bat on. Where do you stand on that? Basically, they're talking about it getting quicker and the indentations coming into play.
Day three is going to be slightly quicker than day two, is what I feel, if not the same pace. But the indentation that you say will happen because you're going to use the heavy roller. And unlike in other parts of England, the grass, when they do roll it, it apparently doesn't bind and go inside. It's just almost superficially on top. And that climbs up as the ball keeps hitting. And that's when the indentations form. That's what I heard when it comes to the oval pitch.
Yeah.
And I feel everything relies on how India plays that first session for
Yeah.
many reasons. One,
Mm.
Chris Wokes not being around. So they have
Yeah.
three fast bowlers. And if those three fast bowlers they're able to handle quite nicely in that first session, don't give too many wickets, then India stay in the game.
Yeah.
If they run through India, I think India will be done tomorrow. The fact is that everything of this test series, all the effort they put in will hinge on how India come out tomorrow morning and bat in that first session. Slightly new ball, 16 overs old Duke ball means it is the worst time as a batter because you have one side of it scruffed up, which means it will swing. The upright seam will get the ball to seam as well. They would have used the heavy roller, which means after 30, 40 minutes, it will start playing up in terms of the bounce. And then the indentations, you speak about all of that. Slightly grey at the start, they say, but you don't know, sun could be out as well. Put
Trish, you said
everything in.
yeah. Trish said use a heavy roller because this morning for some reason India used a light roller.
Light roller. So
They have to use a heavy roller tomorrow, right?
they should.
Yeah.
They should use the heavy roller, which basically means it'll bind the grass into the pitch with better chance of that. And that would mean that if India can somehow find a way to go unscathed a little bit in that first session, then sessions 2 and 3, they
Yeah.
can dominate more
Yeah.
with the bat. They'll be tiring fast bowlers. You got to understand they bowled already twice today.
Yes.
All of yesterday. And the first session will determine what kind of energy they bring to the table after that. Because if without a Wokes, they'll be reliant on Jacob Bethel and Joe Root to do a lot of the bowling, and that's when India can plunder those runs. But for them to earn the right to do that, they need to play that first session quite nicely.
So I found something interesting. Josh Tongue struggled with his rhythm in the first innings. There's a point of view that it was because of the footholds were damp that he was
Correct.
that he was not able to get his rhythm. He was by some distance the best bowler in the second innings. He was very awkward, but England would have wanted Atkinson to bowl well again, and Gus Atkinson didn't quite bowl as well in the second innings as he did in the first. 21.4 overs, 5 for 33. Tongue got 3 for 57, but he was all over the place and bowled 3 or 4 genuine wicket taking balls. But in the second innings, he was excellent. I think, and I agree with you, if India can play out Gus Atkinson and Josh Tongue, that'll be the opening burst tomorrow. I'm not sure about Jamie Overton. I'm not sure whether he's of, of this international class to be able to bowl. He could prove all of us wrong tomorrow. You disagree, I think, because every time you pause to think, I get the feeling you're being polite to me by while disagreeing.
I just feel that he has not yet shown any evidence to say that if he gets a wicket, he'll run through a side. If he gets a wicket, maybe that'll be the only wicket, and others will like to come back and chip in with the performance. Because even in his domestic career so far, it's not been the ball that he's really shown with.
Yes.
It's actually the bat a lot more. Even this season so far in county championship, picked up two at quite a high.
On his test debut, he got a 90 on his test debut and picked 244.
Correct. So it's I think the batting that they really look up to and like about him. He bowls a heavy ball, but have to say he's not consistent enough to put pressure on the batters.
Something interesting also happened towards the end of the day's play, where the umpires offered light and they said that if you want to bowl the spinners, you can go on and bowl. And Ollie Pope said no. Now, most times people would say it's a difficult period to bat. I'll get as many overs in as possible. Doesn't matter if it's spinners, but they're all playing for close. They're worried about what will happen next 15 minutes. Let me bowl my spinners in. He said no, because I think he was worried that in those 15 minutes, if India got 10 or 15 runs against the spinners, that could have an impact on the game. Is that how you read it?
Absolutely. And I think he did the right thing because bowling a spinner would mean that if Yashasvi Jaiswal gets going, he'll get a 10-run, 12-run over, and it could pretty much be the game. And that's how much this test series hinges because across 5 test match series over a long period of time, you just showed me the stat.
Yeah.
You said that there have not been many where at the end of first innings, there's been parity or below 25 runs, and that's been the case, isn't it? In 3 test matches.
What it tells me also is if he's hesitant to bowl the spinners with just 15 minutes possible with the night watchman in, he's going to be very hesitant to bowl the spinners tomorrow if it comes to it, which effectively means he's playing 3 bowlers. I don't know if you noticed at the start of today, Joe Root and Ben Duckett were running and practicing bowling seam up. They don't want it to go that far, do they? No. You don't want it to go that far.
Being hesitant today is also understandable because as a captain, you don't want to make the ball older as well. Having a 15 over or a 16 over old ball is very different to having a 21 overs with a few more boundaries in it. So I think that also must have played a part because tomorrow when they come in, the ball will be nice and ready for it to swing and seam. And that's exactly what's going to trouble India when they come into bat. So I feel he did the right thing, but I don't think he'll be reluctant to bowl the spinners tomorrow because he'll be forced to. There's only that much fast bowling both Josh Tongue and Gus Atkinson can do. After that, he's got to go to Joe Root and Bethel.
I think if he's got to go to them, India have already secured a little victory. As you can see, there's so many things to talk about for tomorrow. In the time that you have before tomorrow, while living back on this exciting game, there's lots of exciting things for you to do as well. Go visit the Cricbuzz 11 app, download it, costs only 1 rupee. There's loads of exciting games that you can play there. So do those and then get ready for the most exciting game of all, which is day 3 of this test match.
It is a cracker of a series now.
What's your instinct telling you?
India will find it a little hard at the start. But I really hope they find a way to weather the storm. I felt that yesterday as well, that we'll be blown away in terms of the tailenders as well. It just happened because it's not an easy pitch to bat. That's a fact. It's not like I have anything against the Indian team. The fact is that India will definitely depend on a few key batters. If Akashdeep is even able to bat half an hour, 40 minutes, which means
it makes such a big difference.
It's not easy, but if he can, there's nothing like it because
See, but he's got the license tomorrow. Not tomorrow, he doesn't have to block. He's got the license.
He can play a few shots, but playing a few shots, even somebody of Harry Book's stature who likes to play shots, when the field was spread, didn't even try anything. It tells you that he didn't pack himself to,
That one boundary that he hit, he was searching. He didn't know where the ball had gone and it had gone over mid wicket for 4. But yeah, I mean, it can be very irritating if he gets even 20, 25 tomorrow, swinging his bat, one edge here, because he's got the license to go.
Because every over that he plays is going to be one lesser over that Shubman Gill and the others have to face off these fast bowlers.
I think in many ways Gill could be the key if his first innings batting is anything to go by. He looked most comfortable in that first innings. The only thing you will have to tell Shubman Gill is if the bowler is running in on his past his follow through, please don't run. There you are. So that was day 2. Will day 3 be the last day of this extraordinary series? There's something about a 5-test series that is enthralling. Will day 3 be the end? Tell us what you think. Do you think it'll go into day 4 as well? Irrespective of that, both DK and me will be with you tomorrow on Cricbuzz Chatter. Remember, it's brought to you in association with Cricbuzz 11, the fantasy gaming app from the house of Cricbuzz. We'll join you tomorrow with a glass of water. Can of water. I've never seen cans of water, by the way.
You can get to see anything you want in England, Harsha.
But why waste so much on a can of water? It's just water. Why put it in a can?
They can recycle it, I guess.
I guess so. See you tomorrow.